What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic video, and today we have got the best plug and play 4-2-3-1. That is right, the tactic you can download and simply load in to any team and go and get some good results. Now, we are going to be testing with three very different teams, ranging from Man City to Oxford United. So we are covering all levels of football. Hopefully you do enjoy. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into the testing. So then we are going to start off with the best team in the video to get things sort of flowing, and we get off to a great start with Manchester City. Now, I will say we have got obviously one of the best teams in the world. Now, the Premier League was almost a 38 out of 38 win. Unfortunately, we do draw one game against Brentford, but still, that is, what, a 97-98% win rate, if I'm not mistaken. A very strong season in the Premier League, and we back everything up by winning literally everything else we potentially could win, including this one here, which for some reason doesn't show on the team competitions. We are going to win the Champions League 5-1 over Barcelona. The FA Cup we are also going to lift over Chelsea in extra time, a bit of a closer game there. The Carabao Cup, not a close game, a 3-0 win over Liverpool, and the Community Shield, a very close game against Manchester United. Now, obviously you've got De Bruyne, you've got Bernardo Silva, you've got Erling Haaland, you have got some incredible players, but this tactic still had a big part to play. However good a team is, to get these results, the tactic has to do a very good job, and that's exactly what it done. A ton of goals, a ton of shots, possession quite consistent with 55%. This is not a tiki-taka based tactic, it's more actually described as a gegenpress, I would say. So we're not guaranteed to have loads of the ball, but you are guaranteed to defend well and score lots of goals, which, to be honest, is the two things that you should be after. Possession is a bit of a luxury, and when I'm looking for results and a plug and play tactic, you don't always cover everything. Now, in terms of the data hub, we are going to be scoring 4.13 goals a game, only 0.42 conceded, 25 shots bang on a match, I'll take that any day, a good pass completion and a good tackle win ratio as well. So we're one team tested, and we have so far got 6 trophies in one season. It's not too bad. In fact, the only downside to this season really was the start to this Champions League final, as Barcelona actually went 1-0 up in 41 seconds. So it was not a positive start really at all. But luckily for us, as you can see, we've already said what the scoreline is. We do manage to get back into the game literally about 2 minutes after, with a wonder strike from Rodrigo to Stegen. I don't know what he was doing so far off his line. Kyle Walker then goes around 9 minutes after, a ball inside the box, and a great finish there from Foden to leap above the wing-back, which surprises me because Foden isn't really known for his heading ability, as he is now going to be a big part in this goal here, with Haaland driving and going alone. And I think it's because ter Stegen's injured. I think that's why he's not looking like his best sort of ability, because he's a good goalkeeper and he is, you know, at the moment, he's all over the gaff, isn't he? I feel a bit sorry for him, but we're going to carry on watching because, you know, we're here to try and send a statement, and despite him being injured or not, I'm going to take the final. We're then going to go over and test with Super RB Leipzig. Again, not a favourite to win the Bundesliga at all. Probably behind Leverkusen, Dortmund and also Bayern. We have won the league, and defensively, we were absolutely remarkable. We did sort of, in the other competitions, not get as far as what I maybe would have wanted to. When I say that, I'm more on about the Pokal than I am the Champions League. But we do win the Bundesliga. Openda doing what I thought he would do. We are going to outscore everyone, have the most shots. Defensively, we're an absolute joke with this team. And possession-wise, we are also very up there, having more possession than Bayern. Obviously, Dortmund, not that Dortmund really plays that way, but just saying, you know, we're putting stats up above some of the big boys. The only real disappointment for me would be I'd want to at least get to that Pokal final. But again, whatever happens, happens. These are the results. It is going to be a bit of a drop-off in terms of the goals per game. I would also say, just to make this very clear, this is with the default version. Man City was tested with the attacking version, to make that very clear. But these stats, what you can expect from the default with a team like Bayern, with RB Leipzig. Now, when you make a sort of plug-and-play tactic, as you'll see very shortly, it does appear to be a little bit more basic than, you know, some of my other tactics where you got 15 instructions on one player or something, because this tactic is designed to be downloaded and simply plugged and played with any single team. So this sort of formation is going to look very basic compared to some of the other ones we've had, but it's just friendly for all teams. So friendly, in fact, we even got great results with Oxford United. United, a team that are nowhere near meant to be winning the league, and we have won the league. Obviously, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, we were not expecting to do anything in them anyway, and I will say it is a great season in terms of the league position, the goals, the shots, possession. We're going to be somewhat in the sort of mix with 53%. Defensively, we were absolutely sound, and once again, it's another tactic sort of result, which we've gone into a league where we're not favourites and come out on top, and Oxford are definitely not favourites in their league, and we still managed to score just above 2 goals compared to what we are conceding. We've got a good pass completion, a very good tackle win ratio, and a good amount of shots per game as well. So we really are taking a tactic now that has, you know, expected to do well because it is a plug and play tactic, but we have taken a team in Oxford and taken them all the way to the top. And to be honest, this team in Oxford, there wasn't really a lot of close games. This is a game against Norwich, one of the better teams in the league, and I will say it was an absolute stampeding. We're talking about a 7-goal game and us scoring all 7. Now, I will say, you can see at the top of the bar here, they had a bit of a collapse before half-time. They actually conceded 2 goals here in such quick succession before half-time. They went into the second half 4 goals down, so it didn't help, and when that's happening, you know it's not going to be your day, is it? It's not going to be your day. And they just let us score 2, literally both in the 45th minute. It is real, it's just diabolical stuff. That isn't, though. That is great play. Bit of a lucky deflection, but the actual build-up before the cross went in was really good. And as soon as that second half started, they only survived 10 minutes. Now, we're talking about a Norwich team that bounced between Premier League and Championship. They should be beating us any day, and they literally had nothing in the game. They've got a decent team, but this tactic just seemed to draw teams out. It seemed to do very well against the bigger teams as well, and it is a 4-2-3-1, which obviously is known for being the best formation at the end of the day. But even this, between me and you, it did surprise me a little bit, because we're taking a team like Norwich and we're making them look like, well, the quality that we should be playing with. And these are not easy goals to score. It's good movement, good pass and play, and well, that's just individual quality. I will actually say, in the Champions League, we did beat Bayern with RB Leipzig. So even with RB Leipzig, just showcasing the ability to beat the bigger teams around you. And again, a little bit of a deflection. It seems to be a deflection season. And this was all done, by the way, with 10 men. So that is even more of a testament to how good this tactic is, even when you go man down, which is obviously very unfortunate in a game like this. But the importance of the wing-backs being shown there, a great goal from Henriks. And we even managed, going down to 10 men, to go and score 1 more, which is something you wouldn't expect with a team that are nowhere, you know, not nowhere near, but they're not on the same level as Bayern just yet. And the fact we're doing that is really impressive. Now, over to your favourite part of the video. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, come on over to that second channel, because we've got a rebuild coming out once every 2 days. Loads you've already come over. I'll pop a little thumbnail on the screen right now. But to make this tactic, you want to do a couple of things. For you want to hit Gegenpress. For the video purpose, so I can show what we're doing, I'm going to click this one. But for you, Gegenpress, and simply load in the 4-2-3-1. Now, the next big change is to go down here and change from balanced all the way up to positive, because we are quite an attacking side, and at the end of the day, this really gets the game going, and I feel like going into a game, especially with a 4-2-3-1 on balanced, is actually quite negative, to be honest, so make sure you are set to positive. You are then going to go down and change to a sweeper keeper, who is going to be on support. The same reasoning for the 4-3-3 tactic. Pretty much every team has a goalkeeper that can play in this role, and even if they're not the most confident on the ball, you've not got them on attack, so they're not going to do anything too crazy. So a sweeper keeper on support is going to be essential. We're then going to keep up with the same sort of idea that we had in that 4-3-3 and have 2 ball playing defenders, both on the default. I usually have dribble more on my players, but because we are doing a plug and play tactic, which is to be expected to be downloaded and play with any team in the game, not everyone's got good centre backs that can be dribbling more, and if you have that instruction on, you'll end up making a lot of mishaps at the back. So that is why they're going to be left on the default. Now, what we are going to do, which is a bit different from the 4-3-3, is actually operate with 2 attack and wing backs, and that is because in this game, whether your wing backs are incredible going forward or not in terms of their player stats, it's broken anyway. The overlap, it works every single time, and therefore I am going to put it into a plug and play tactic. And we are going to have these instructions: run wide when the player has the ball, when the team has the ball, sit narrow, and also set to tackle harder. And that's going to be exactly the same for this side as well. So run wide, sit narrow, and also tackle harder. harder. Now, this has been a thing for the past several football managers. Attack and wing backs have always been the meta. Get them forward, low crosses, or even mixed crosses. Anything in the box, it works really, really well. So this is why we've gone with this today, because it works so well. Going over to the midfield, we are going to go with the consistent pairing of the year, really, of a DM on support who is going to have hold position and also set to tackle harder, and partnering, we are going to go with a deep line playmaker who is going to be told to have more direct passing and also set to tackle harder. I do want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like. And also, if you are interested in getting all of these wonderful perks, you can come over to the Patreon, where there is still a big discount on every new Patreon sign up. You get all of the tactics, you get them on console, you get them on mobile, you get my rebuild files, you get one-on-one tactical help, access to monthly giveaways, and so much more. There's tons of perks, and there's a piece of exclusive content every single day. It works out around about 16 pence per piece of content based on the monthly sign up. So loads of content, loads of stuff, and next year we're going to be adding in databases, we're going to be adding in loads of new stuff just to make it worthwhile, to be fair, because you show so much love back to the channel. I'm going to try and provide more and more stuff, which is why we're doing loads and loads of big giveaways. And next year I've got a really cool idea of sending viewers to football games, which hopefully you like the sound of. But let's go through and start to build the front four. So on the left hand side, we are going to go with an inside forward who is going to be set to support, and we are going to have exactly the same on the right hand side as well. Now, when it comes to these players, they are going to have a fair few instructions, and these are instructions that I genuinely believe are playable with any team. Otherwise, I wouldn't have them obviously on player roles. Now, let's go over and do it. So we are going to have hold up the ball, roam, tackle harder, and mark position. So on the right wing, you're going to be marking the D in brackets L, and obviously on the left, it will be the opposite. So you'll be marking the D in brackets R, alongside of the same instructions of hold up, roam, and tackle harder. Now, the hold up instruction is something which I was a bit late to the party on, to be honest, but I eventually, I think it was Nap that was I had a tactic that I tested with FM Scout, and when you actually see how it performs in the game, a lot of people associate it with being sort of negative. They'll get the ball and just stand still. That's not the case at all, but they will slow the pace down, and when you've got attack and wing backs, it makes it so much better. So make sure you are utilising that, because the wing backs will benefit from it as well. The AM in the middle, again, I want a bit of a risk taker, and in my opinion, he's not going to be on attack, so I'm going to buff him up a little bit with player roles. We are going to go with take more risks, dribble more, roam, move into the channels, and also set to tackle harder. So again, a very risk-taking AM, which I believe an attack and midfield player should be. He should be allowed to take risks. And the advanced forward, he remains simply as the default, which is by far, once again, the best role in the game when it comes to getting your goals. Now, in terms of the team instructions, we are going to stick it to fairly wide. We're going to focus down the left and the right while playing out from the back. In the default version, there isn't going to be overlapping because the wingbacks do it anyway, so there wasn't really a direct need to also have it permanently selected. The final third is going to be mixed crosses, the passing down by 1, and the tempo up to 1 to higher, and that is going to be your in possession. In transition, very meta-based, counter press and also counter, plays to the fullbacks and the centre-backs, and take short goal kicks. I can already see a comment coming. Josh, I haven't got the fittest team in the world. Rest, rotate, train. If you cover all of them, you can be completely fine to play a counter pressing style. The only issues which people run into is when they haven't got training set up, when they haven't got good staff in place. When you haven't got that, you can expect issues, but when you've got what you should have, you can easily play this way, and trust me, it's the best way. Out of possession, we are going to go in with the high press. I've kept the standard line because I don't know if you're playing as Bournemouth or you're playing as Real Madrid, so standard is quite balanced. We are then going to go with much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and of course get stuck in. Now over to the attacking version, which of course we used for the whole season with Man City. You could also use this if you're a goal down or drawing and you want to push on for a win. So the goalkeeper does remain the same, the ball players also remain the same, the wing backs exactly the same, the DM on the right the same, the volante obviously not the same. He comes in, more direct passes, take more risks, dribble more, get forwards, and also tackle harder. The inside forward on the left and the right, now this is optional, okay, because this is obviously if you are playing as a bigger team, so either assumed that your wingers have got decent finishing. If they haven't, please remove shoot more often, because you will become frustrated. But if you have got good players that can finish, make sure you've got that on. Shadow striker, obviously a big change, roam and tackle harder, and the advanced forward does remain unchanged. The next big change, we're up to attacking now. Up to attacking, the attack and width is going to remain the same, no real need to change it. Pass into the space, focus down the left and the right while playing out. I never really needed to have these overlap options on, because we saw in the highlights how aggressive they already were. We don't also need to tell them to overlap. Their player roles tell them to push on and attack. We don't need to double up on instructions. The big change with this one isn't the tempo or the passing, but it is the addition of both of these. So we are really now going to push and commit players forward. When it comes to in transition, we're still going to counter press, we're still going to counter, we're still going to distribute quickly and play to anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. And lastly, when it comes to out of possession, we are going to get a bit more risky with a higher line, the high press, get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and lastly, of course, why would we take off the max trigger press? Now, when it comes to defending the game out, we have gone with a bit more of a lower tempo style, bit of a dribbling less style, possession based style, so you can play this if you want a more possession based game as well, or to seal out a game with. Now, the goalkeeper and the ball players do remain unchanged, the wing backs both now on support, on sit narrow and tackle harder. A ball and a midfield player on the left on the default, a DM on the right does remain unchanged. The AM is the same role but different instructions: dribble more, roam and move into channels. The inside forwards again are going to be the same as the default version, and obviously for the first time no advanced forward, because if you're going for possession you want a deep line forward to come in and link up the play. Now, in terms of the mentality, we are still going to be on positive, and in terms of the tactical style, it is still on that Gegen press. This is where there is a big change though. This does remain the same, this doesn't. So the passing all the way down to much shorter, which means the tempo will be technically changed to slightly lower. We are also going to choose to dribble less, so we are going to be a real possession-based team, and this is also where we go more possession. We're still going to counter press, obviously when possession has been lost. When we have the ball, we're going to hold the shape, slow the pace down, and play to anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. So a big statement on control of the game being made here, holding the shape, slowing the pace down, the passing as well. So this is definitely more for people that do enjoy possession, and it is the best way you can play it. When it comes to this, we are going to go back to the standard line, to the high press, and simply just have these two applied to much more often and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And that's going to give you boys and girls 3 variants of the best 4-2-3-1 plug and play. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again you can comment below any future tactic you want to see. If it doesn't get done this year, it will be done on the next game, so don't worry, it will be done. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your day.